Alrighty, hello everybody, this is Kiroshock here. Now then, when we last left off, I was about to go into the Black Forest training arc. So then, let us continue. Let's see. Everyone is talking about doing a test of courage. People are thinking that, eventually, they can set up quite a lot of people. Because they're thinking, hey, they can set up Bakugo and Kendo and do all that dumb stuff, but they are somewhat wrong. Yeah, then. I did want to bring this in, so I'm going to do it. During the attack, whenever they cannot find Koda, Deku, he would immediately just start flying around and trying to figure out where he is. He would eventually see Koda down below, and he would head over there. Now, he is trying to figure this all out, as he tells Koda that they need to get back to camp and it's not very safe. Koda would agree after seeing the fire, and they would begin going back. Now then, on their way back, Muskie would attack them, and they would find that this man doesn't have that damage that the cops reported. This man has both of his eyes. Deku is confused, and he's asking, who are you? The guy would just explain that his name is Muscular, and in fact, he was hired to kill him. In fact, he was hired to kill quite a lot of people here. Your little conduit abilities are dangerous. And you're not. As Koda is basically crying, Deku, he would just say that, well, whatever is wrong with you, we just need to go. Deku immediately just tries to fly away, as Muscular just tries to keep them from leaving. He would go on explaining that he has this as a little toy. In fact, he heard that it's supposed to increase abilities. I've only used one to heal my eye, because apparently that's all these are good for. It's basically like, you inject that little bit into you to get that conduit ability, except this doesn't just boost it. It's basically like a booster for both conduit and people with quirks. In fact, it also gave me a little bit of healing, so I now got this thing back. It's great. Deku's confused, thinking, wait, so you're accessing conduit abilities with that thing? Well, not all of them. You just don't get that little boom that goes off. Do you, Bio? Deku immediately just gets... He just sees the needle, and he's thinking that if he can stop Muscular from at least taking it, then it should work out. As he absorbs cement, and he immediately just starts trying to lay into Muscular with it as much as possible. As the cement starts wrapping around Muscular's legs, this is whenever Muscular would just start walking towards Deku, as he plunges it into his neck, immediately boosting his abilities even further. Now then, Deku, he sees this man go basically in 3 times the size of what he just was before. Along with the fact that now the forest is burning more intensely and he does not know where anyone is. He also wants to try and make sure people are okay, but that's going to be a bit hard. He's thinking that he can't even try getting close to him, otherwise this is not going to be easy. He immediately just creates a giant golem out of cement, and immediately just has it charge straight at Muscular. Muscular just obliterates it with one punch, saying that whatever this is, he wants to ride this high forever. It's the best feeling he's ever had. Now then, afterwards, Deku is trying to figure out ways to hold him off, but he can only come back to one solution. The same thing he had to use against the Noma, as he just tells Muscular he's sorry about this. This is going to be hell. Muscular is confused as Deku just immediately tries to shoot shrapnel at him. Muscular just keeps blocking it and dodging it, saying that this little trick of yours isn't going to work. So what is it? Deku would get very annoyed as Muscular just immediately blitzes him for a second and comes in to kick him. Deku turns his body into smoke, immediately dispersing. The shockwave nearly blows Koda off of the mountain, and Deku sees this. Immediately going to help him, Muscular still tries to snatch him. Deku would get Koda, and he puts him down at the bottom of the cliff. As he tells him not to basically follow them, Muscular immediately just jumps down, smashing into a crater, saying that this is not going to be a little fun. He ain't going to ride this forever, but he at least has to fight him properly. Come on. Well, we are here for students. We're here for Katsuki Bakugo, you, and that Tokuyami kid. What? Why are you here for them? Well, the boss thinks that we could awaken conduit abilities. I don't know why. You're not going to be around long for this kid. Deku's thinking that if they can awaken more conduit abilities, that means that the beast's got to be in this. He immediately just shouts that what did they have to do with the beast, and Muscular's confused. I don't know, kid. That guy, he frightens me. I'm not gonna lie to you. But I can tell you one thing, if I ever got the chance to fight him, oh boy, that would be a grand fight. So, as Muscular immediately starts running towards Deku, Deku does something he did not want to do. He really did not want to have to use this against another person. He immediately just brings his hands to the ground as spikes begin protruding upwards, coming into Muscular's legs and ripping through his muscle fibers. As Muscular begins screaming, he begins getting covered and covered in more rock. Muscular just shouts, "What is this?" because it's getting to the point where it's coming in between and through his muscle fibers to where he cannot move. In fact, he's actually had parts of his body get very, very mangled and injured. The only reason why he's not bleeding is because those rocks are holding it all in. So that's going to be a bitch to deal with. Muscular's now getting covered and covered even further as he's still trying to break out. Deku would just tell Muscular that he should not try doing that because every single piece of your lower body is being held together by that rock. If you let go or you break through that, you're basically killing yourself. Now then, as he immediately begins flying away, Muscular will get covered and covered in more rock. As he would break through one side of it, he would find that Deku was telling the truth whenever he tried ripping a piece off his abdomen, basically nearly taking a chunk out of himself. Now then, after that, Deku's flying around the forest, as he would drop Koda off and deal with Big Sis, and, that lizard guy. He would immediately take them out, but he's now got to look for Tokoyami and Bakugo. Tokoyami would be somewhat easier to track, as he would just see ginormous fire coming from the forest. In fact, he's just being blasted straight up. He would fly over to that area, and he would find that it's Shinso and Todoroki trying to deal with Tokoyami, along with the Duplo Arms guy. Now then, they are trying to deal with him and trying to help take him down, and they would just say that whatever's going on, he just lost control. Now then, what basically happened is they shot adrenaline into his neck right after he saw what happened to Shoji. Shoji. I think that's his name. I might be wrong. Anyways, after that, Deku, he would basically just say that they should all try using their fire. Just be careful. As they would do so, they immediately try taking a breather, but Mr. Compress breaks up their whole thing. As he would just say that he's got a little plan for these two. As he would hold out his marbles, showing that he has Bakugo and Tokoyami. This boy was a bit harder to deal with, but nothing a little compression can't deal with. Anyways, I think he might be needing this back. As he immediately just throws in Bakugo's prosthetic arm. It is broken up into 3 to 4 pieces, along with the fact that as soon as it hits the ground, it is counting down for detonation. Deku sees this and immediately says that they need to move as he grabs Tokoyami and immediately begins flying off. As soon as that happens, the entire thing explodes as Mr. Compress is now getting away. Deku's getting even more pissed off and angry because each time he tries helping or doing anything, he either just messes up or he's not in time. So he immediately begins flying after Mr. Compress. And then as Deku's flying, he wants to essentially get Bakugo and Tokoyami back, but as he's going through the air, he immediately hears someone screaming, along with the fact that he can hear the dubstep music going off. He immediately turns, seeing that there's Jiro down there, and she's actually dealing with him. Along with the fact that you have Toga, who's attacking and trying to hit her, but Uraka, she's also there. Deku immediately switches to telekinesis, linking everyone up. That also confuses Mandalay. He immediately begins saying that he's already helped to deal with a couple villains, but we have Tokoyami and Bakugo in trouble. Uraka immediately hears about this, and she actually begins flying up into the air. She starts trying to focus on the forest as she just brings Kendo up with her, and her and Kendo basically both focus on the fire. Kendo would sweep right with her arm as Uraka would sweep left, basically sandwiching two ginormous pieces of air, creating a shockwave that would put out the fire. Now, you also have Dobby. Dobby probably got hurt in that explosion, or that blast that they just caused, and that is going to take him out, along with a couple Nomu. Now, Kirishima is actually trying to figure out what Bakugo is, and Deku would just say that Mr. Compress is getting away. Now then, Toru is actually trying to deal with a different Nomu. He's trying to deal with one that has a speed quirk. In fact, some of these ones were amped and actually increased because they knew about the conduits being there. So this is going to be a bit of a bitch. Now, afterwards, you have Deku going down. He would just tell everyone that they need to try and focus on Mr. Compress. He's heading in this direction. He's got to help Jiro. As everyone just says why, Jiro just tells him that he needs to focus on Bakugo, and Deku would just say that he can't. As he comes in and he immediately just blasts the Nomu behind her with pyrokinesis, saying that she was kind of left open. Now, as he picks her up with telekinesis, saying that they need to go. He immediately takes her and Froppy and begins flying with them. As they're going through the air, they eventually would see Mr. Compress along with the rest of the crew. Now, this is whenever Kurogiri, he has his portal open. Let's say Kirishima gets there first, and he actually does put a spike through Kurogiri's leg. Kurogiri would immediately just try and stop I keep getting interrupted, and I hate it. Anyways, Kirigiri, he immediately just tries. He wants to close the portal, but he knows he has to keep it open, so he just brings up a lot of fake portals around Kirishima, trying to actually distract him and try and figure out which one has the actual Kirigiri. Now, as Kirishima is basically attacking and trying to figure out which ones are fake, he basically gets put into a portal maze. That's the whole brief assumption of it. Now then, while that happened, the League of Villains is actually trying harder as they were provided with a lot of these boostings. Kirigiri took one before he went through, knowing that he might get attacked. Now, Mr. Compress is on his way, as everyone is catching up. This is whenever the shift in the timeline will go even further. There is another explosion, except it's actually nearby. All the students are flying through the air, and they turn their head hearing the boom, as the nearby city is now being under attack. This is chaos. This is destruction. This is completely insane. Deku's just thinking that the beast is here again? What? How? As Mr. Compress actually turns his head, he would see this and think that he at least needs to get away before the shockwave comes. As he would arrive and he would walk through the portal, he would have no need for the fake marbles. So he just throws them into the forest. Now, afterwards, Kirigiri would close the portal as the maze begins disappearing around Kirishima. Deku would arrive and he would see all this, and he asked Kirishima what happened or what's going on. He would just say that he injured the portal guy or whatever his name is, but he did that glass maze trick you do. Wait, how does... Damn it. That's not important right now. What do you mean? As you begin just hearing the tumbling of the land, Deku just immediately just absorbs as much of the ground as possible and actually throws up a lot of walls in front of them, telling them all to get down. As everyone is confused, Deku immediately just tries to harden the wall and keep it up, along with Kirishima. They are basically both fighting against the shockwave and the brunt of it, as the entire forest is being destroyed. Now, this is just the shockwave. There's no radiation or anything. It's just the force that went off is destroying the forest. Now then, the aftermath is quite bad. Everything behind them is perfectly somewhat okay, but everything in front of them is obliterated. The land is now just barren. Deku and everyone else would try and find the remaining Class 1A and 1B, which, after a little bit of searching, that they would eventually find, and then they would ask what happened. They would just say that someone got a hold of the ray sphere in the city. But it wasn't just one person. Apparently, on this site, or on a message board site, somebody decided to leave information about these things. Not just that, they basically made it to where, with a certain mix of chemicals and a certain mix of things, you can create your own goddamn ray spheres. Thing is, though, they're not stabilized. Whatever that one was, it was very stupid. It basically triggered a chain reaction setting off all the ones everyone was making in the city. Oh my god. This is gonna sound bad, kids, but quirkless people, I'm not really sure how to feel about them anymore. Mr. Aizawa, they're just power. They kinda